Okay, Lexus fans, Lexus LS430 fans especially, I have a very, very exciting video for you today. So I'll get right to the main point. As you can see, there is a slight irregularity, slight defect, slight indicator of wear on this, what I believe is the original OEM thermostat, which was just removed from my LS430 a few hours ago. Just a few hours ago, folks. So, for those of you who aren't familiar by looking at my channel and looking at my Lexus.org posts, clublexus.org, I have had some coolant leaking problems and some engine temperature anomalies and abnormalities for the whole time I've owned the car, which has been about 2.5 years. So most recently, what the car started doing was on the highway in the Florida winter, which is, I don't know, let's say 50, 60 degrees out, the car would get to less than 1/4 of the way up the temperature gauge. So let's take a look at this thermostat. First of all, someone told me, in my comment to the last video, someone commented that the plastic part inside my thermostat was probably cracked or damaged. Well, guess what, folks? Guess what, folks? He was correct. He was correct. He said, that'll be it. Man, you are right. I am going to post a reply to your comment and post this video in response to your comment because you, my friend, my LS430 cooling genius, have hit the nail on the head. So let's look at this seal. Let's look at this rubber part inside this thermostat here. Okay, now I'm not sure where this is coming from. I don't know if this used to stretch longer and it just cracked off, or it came from inside the thermostat. Also, if anyone out there would like to comment on whether or not they think this is the original OEM thermostat from when the car was made, in, let's say, late 05 or 06, please feel free to comment about that. But in the meantime, what's up with this? What's up with this, folks? This is like a protruding piece of rubber seal or plastic coming out of this part of the thermostat. Now, as we look around at this rubber part here, see that? See, now there you go. Even more abnormalities, anomalies, or signs of wear. Now, okay, something else. This, and I saw someone selling a thermostat that had this. They sold it. They were selling it as a new thermostat on eBay. I didn't buy it, but there's some rust here on this part. Maybe, I don't know, this is the top or outside or wherever this sits in once it's installed in the car. Look at that. See, now look at that. I can scrape this off with a piece of paper towel. That's rust, folks, okay? Now that's rust. Now, the fact that my radiator went out, I cannot blame that on Lexus because it was an aftermarket radiator that I myself put in about 3 years ago, so I was upset that it went out again. But we're talking about the thermostat right now, so don't let me change the subject. Look at this. See? The top of this thing's rusting. Now, why is that, folks? As far as I know, the correct coolant was used in this car from the day it was new. I think it was... Okay, now look at this. Okay, I just noticed another piece of rubber on this thing. Look at here. See, look how soft that is and how that's really wearing out. Okay, so once again, the symptom of my faulty cracked rubber inside thermostat was on the highway, the car would not get to full operating temperature, or if it was there, if it was at full operating temperature when I entered the highway, it would go down to under a quarter. Under a quarter, folks. See, now that's scary. See, now that's just weird. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, is there something wrong with my car? Or is this just mean the car is so efficient that it just runs this cool? Well, it's not supposed to run that cool. It is not supposed to run cool like that. I don't think. Now, the only operational symptom was that my heater didn't work very well. Well, once again, I'm in Florida. It's no big deal, but I want my car to be right. So let's keep taking a look at this. The car was running too cool on the highway in 50 to 60 degree weather. And someone commented on my Facebook video, my prior Facebook video, which I will link below, that it was because this rubber here was wrong. It wasn't good. And you know what? Once again, I wish I could shake this man's hand and give him a gold star because he seems to have been correct. So if anyone out there is experiencing the same or similar odd cooling symptoms, look at this rubber right here now, see? There's no denying it. There's no denying that, folks. Okay, now this is an important video. This is an important revelation in the Lexus, specifically the LS430 world. Okay? See, it's even coming out more right here. I bet it didn't do that when it was new. Lexus, why couldn't you build me a thermostat that lasts 20 years instead of 15 or 16 years? And that would have been nice. Okay? Hope the new one lasts 20 years because I'm gonna last 20 years. And I'm going to last 20 years with this car. I love this car. So when I first got the car 3 years ago or so, the radiator was leaking. And I didn't know that. All I saw was leaking coolant. So one of my neighbors who wanted to upset me insisted that it was the head gaskets. Well, buddy, it wasn't the head gaskets. It was just a radiator. So instead of, I don't know how much head gaskets would cost on an LS430, but it was just a radiator. $300-400 later, bought it on rockauto.com. Well, shouldn't have got the one I got. It was, I don't remember the brand, but I'll try to post that below. And I will post which one not to buy. And I will post the one I got. So anyway, back to the history of the coolant leak on this car. When I first got it, it needed a radiator. I replaced the radiator. Well, it kept leaking. Something was leaking. Turns out it was the non-OEM worm screw type clamps I put on it. And everyone told me don't use those, but I used them. I figured you could tighten the height as you want. Now the OEM clamps, the OEM compression clamps seem to be better. So that's what I got this time. I got OEM clamps. So is this the original thermostat? So hopefully my leak's done now. I got a new radiator, I got new clamps, and hopefully I'm done with the coolant leaks on this bad boy. Drove me nuts. Getting coolant all over my pretty engine. Look at this old thermostat. Old thermostat with the rust on it. All right. Now for what you've all been waiting for. Let's take a look at the box. Let's take a look at the box. That the new radiator, the new thermostat came in. Look at this. I chose an OEM part, guys. OEM. Straight now. It was, I got it through the mail. They sent it to me in the mail from a dealership in Lakeland. Okay? Dealership in Lakeland. Sorry, I keep dropping the phone. My tripod broke, so I'm using a little jar of honey to prop up the phone. So I would recommend, if saving money is important, there's a Lexus dealer in Lakeland. Call them up, tell them what parts you need, and they'll ship it to you. Or it might be just an online thing. I found out that the parts dealership or wherever that have a website and want you to go to the website instead of talking to a human being and plug your part number in and get a quote that way, they tend to be cheaper. I guess computers work for less money than humans do. So I was emailing, asking for quotes, and they kept telling me, hit the website, do it yourself. And I said, no, email me a quote, and they wouldn't do it. I finally started hitting the websites, and guess what? I got a cheaper quote on this price, and the OEM gasket, and the OEM clamps. I think altogether it was like $74 with shipping to Central Florida. So anyway, if you've held on this long and could stand the phone falling and being picked up again, I really appreciate you watching. This is an old thermostat. Thank you.